Hello, I'm Carolyn, and in this video I'm going to show how you can use Inkscape to create your own projects with sections that will lift up. The example on the left is a photo of a project I have cut out previously. The light blue cardstock is one piece, and I've cut it so the wings will lift up and show the colour of the cardstock underneath. And on the right, it's the same butterfly, it's just a close-up with a different colour cardstock underneath. And I'm going to show that these are really easy to create. For the card I created, I just used a basic butterfly. I then changed it so I've got the body that will cut out in one piece. This card will also cut out in one piece. And I can just lift these wings so they're raised to show the cardstock underneath. We can delete these because we're going to create our own right now. Now with this butterfly, I actually need two copies, one for the body, one for the wings. I'm going to duplicate it twice because I always like to keep an original just in case I need it for another project, I change my mind, or I make a mistake. So let's start with this one. I'll delete the butterfly body and just keep the wings. So I'm going to click on it again till I've got the nodes. What I'm going to do is select two nodes, and what will happen then is all the nodes in between will be deleted. Now when you're working with these, only work with two nodes and work with a stroke line. So I've selected this node here, that's the point where the wings meet the body. So I'll hold down the shift key and I'll select this node on the left, that's also where the wings meet the body. Now when nodes are selected, I'll have some more options up here. If I click on this node here, it will delete the segment in between those two nodes I've just selected. So I'll just click on that. You can see all those other nodes have disappeared. So let's do the same on the lower section. Select which two nodes I want to use for the start and the finish. So I'll use that one, it's where the body and the wings meet. I'll hold down the shift key and select this node. When two only are selected, I'll click on this icon and it deletes all of those in between. And there's the butterfly wings. All I need to do then is draw a square, a rectangle, or whatever card shape I want to use. In this case, I'm just going to draw a square, maybe a little bit bigger. I'll just open alignment and make sure they're central. And to keep these together, you can either use group or you're going to use path combine. Because you've got an open path, you don't want to use path union. So whenever you're working with an open paths, just go path combine. So there's the card completed. This will cut out in one piece, and after it's cut out, I can just gently lift these wings and you can see the cardstock underneath. What I'm going to do now is create the body so I can cut it out separately in a different colour and place it on the finished card. I'm going to do the same process, so I'll click again to get the nodes, and as I'm going to delete this left wing, I'll select this node where the wing and the body meet, hold down the shift key and then select this node where the lower part of the body and the wing meet. Click on the icon and delete. Move to the right hand side, I'll select that node, hold down the shift key, select that node, click on the icon. Now at the moment, if I cut that out, it's going to look a little bit strange. I need to make this one piece. So I'll click till I've got the nodes. I'm just going to select this top node here. I'm just going to move it up until it's pretty close to the other node. Do the same on the right hand side, select the node, move it up till it's close. Now let's zoom in. You can see here I've got a gap and here I've got a gap. Now if I cut this out, it's not going to cut out properly. But this is easy enough to fix. What I'm going to do is select both of these nodes. When they're both selected, I'll click on this icon and it will join two end nodes. Click on that, that's now joined. Do the same on the right, select both those nodes, click on the icon, that's joined. There's one completed project ready for cutting out. In this example, I showed how to delete segments. I'm going to show one more example on how to cut the path. For this example, I'm going to use this flower type design and cut sections out. Now if I was to cut this out in a card, it's going to look pretty boring. So if I was actually using this project, I would duplicate it a few times, resize them, align them, so I get something like this on the right. So if I cut this out as a card, I've actually got quite a few sections that will lift up. I'm not showing how to do that, that's just an example of something else you can create. Okay, let's get on with this project. I've got this flower type design. What I want to do is cut out fairly big sections. Now I could use the method I've just shown you, but sometimes these designs are a little bit harder. Let's just have a look at the nodes. Can you see the nodes here are actually spaced far apart? And as you know from designing, they're often not aligned all the way around. You know, you might have one really close and the next one's really far away. So instead of creating a lot of work for yourself, it's often easier to create another path and then use cut path. For this example, I'm going to use a circle. Now when you're trying this for yourself, you can use a rectangle, a square, star. You can draw a line through it. So I'm just going to select the circle. Now let's see if that was big enough. Actually, I think it's a little bit too big. What I'm looking at roughly at the moment here, where these lines intersect, it's going to cut. So each of these pieces are going to cut away. I don't want them to cut away quite that much. So just make this a little bit smaller. Then select both parts and use alignment so they are central. While both parts are selected, I'm going to go path, cut path. Now if I look in the notification region, I can see I've now got 13 objects. I started with 2, I've now got 13. What's happened is, you can see we've got little bits here. Where each line intersected, it's cut. So I'll cut onto a blank part of the canvas, and let's just have a look. You see the circle came through here, and it's actually cut the path. This is why it's important to work with a stroke line. If I was using a fill only, as soon as I cut the path, it's only visible if I've got a stroke line. So all I need to do now is delete these little segments. To finalise the design, select all parts and either group these or go path combine.